Hello and welcome to the what's going on here? Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave link of the set the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can comply with those emotes. Hello and welcome to you, Ash. Thanks for saying hi. I gotta adjust this here because I did a little bit of a refresh and it looks like I am maybe zoomed in on this camera more than I would like. We'll see how I look on the overhead. Happy stream anniversary, Pat, says Mr. Hadel. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thanks for throwing the emotes in there. Also, if you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi or use other emotes. Lord Grashton says, hey, Pat, happy anniversary. Well, thank you very much. It is, as the thing says above me, my 4-year anniversary. I started streaming on technically the 20th of July, 2017, but I'm not streaming tomorrow and I am streaming today, so we're counting it as the 4-year. It's the observation of the 4-year, because I didn't want to do this stream tomorrow instead of tonight. That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, it's my 4-year. I didn't celebrate my 3-year because I had just moved here into this house and was dealing with other things. I also may have forgotten. Yeah, and then I was like, well, all right. August of this year will be my 4-year as an affiliate, but I figured I would celebrate the actual streaming anniversary. One, because they're very close together. And you know, if even when a day comes that I find myself as a partner on this, well, thank you, Lashbrook. Also, hi, Lashbrook. If I find myself as a partner on this, then I would, you know, we would celebrate that as well. We would do both holidays, but celebrating the affiliate, that doesn't seem right. I did a bit. Delta says happy 4th-year anniversary. Well, thank you very much. It's nice to see you. Welcome, friend. Thanks for stopping by. You may notice a slight refresh. I'm going to adjust this because I think I zoomed in a little more than I would like. But I have a new border around myself, and the border will be similar for my overhead. In the overhead shots, both myself and the item. Road to getting partner. Let's go. Hell yeah. I mean, Lord Crash says all Pat, no fun. Indeed. Let's get down to business. No, I went with the gold border because I'm just looking for something a little different. Now, here's a thing that's fun. You may know this. You may experience this for yourself as you go out into the world. Getting a good 4x3 frame out there that someone has made is actually way harder than getting a 16x9 frame that someone has made out there. This is a 4x3 here because that is what I use. The gold border is very close, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, some people ask me, why don't you do the full 16x9 camera? Why do you have your camera set to this? And it's mainly for bandwidth issues. I have my overhead camera set at 16x9, and I think that looks good for this. But if I do 16x9, I don't really need that for just me. And the other reason is because where my placement of my cameras are, if I have it 16x9, I have to zoom in really far on this camera, so you don't see the camera that is literally right above that, which is the overhead camera. And it's a delicate balance of trying to get, because the overhead camera also can't have the light source in frame, but it would be in frame because the light source is overhead, but not above the camera because that would cause a shadow. It's a lot. Eventually I probably will go 16x9 on everything. 4x3 is an artistic choice now thanks to Zack Snyder. Indeed, Lord Crashington. So finding a border like this for 4x3 was actually, yeah, it was a little tough. Also, as we can see in the overhead shot when we go to that, which we will soon, don't worry, we're going to get to model kit building. I got a model kit to build tonight. I like having the 4x3 of this pair with the 4x3 of the photo because there are plenty of 16x9. So much to manage, but you do a great job. Well, thank you. Yeah. Sometimes people are like, isn't it a lot easier to do this than like play games? And if you played the same game and that's all you played, that's very easy. Like Hearthstone streamers, they got Hearthstone. They know what the good settings are there. They know the audio is set for that. And they use, then they use some kind of deck tracker, most likely. And then OBS or XSplit or whatever they use. Folks that play a bunch of different games, y'all do an incredible job out there. The folks that are jumping from game to game that are playing stuff on PC, that have like a dedicated PC for games and then a dedicated PC for streaming, folks that use consoles and then they have to use an Elgato or another capture device. Y'all do incredible work. Folks that are juggling different because it's like, well, I really like doing varieties, but I like using, oh well, I've got this for these retro games, but not these retro games. If you want to play, stuff for like the Game Boy Advance, you got to use the special one because the regular one is good, but it's not good for everything. And all of that is a lot. And so I do tip my hat, figurative hat, to folks out there that run variety and make it all work. It's a lot of work, but so worth it. Totally. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing, right? Doing variety streams is so hard on the technical level. You always have to troubleshoot something. Yeah. I mean, we know this from just my Wednesday streams where I jump around between different things. Um, I spend a good chunk of my Tuesday and my Wednesday trying to troubleshoot. And then we had an issue, what was it, a month and a half ago, where I was like, oh, let's check in with a game. I tested this on Tuesday. It'll be fine on Wednesday. They had an update to at the time to Power Wash Simulator. They updated the game, and it basically caused the update, the hotfix broke some stuff, and it was very unwatchable. It was stuttering all over the place, and basically, if I was spraying water, it wasn't good to watch. And that was the difference between a day. That was like, because I hadn't checked it on that Wednesday. We are going to play that actually this Wednesday, and they hotfixed that a while ago. It's fine. But that was the thing that I didn't even occur to me to test it on the day of the stream, and I should have. Sometimes things just decide not to work totally. I do have a separate layout for GBA games because it's a different aspect ratio. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I have to switch cables to streaming switches for console and PC is always a toss up based on games doing whatever it wants. Yeah, totally. Like, I mean, there's also, I run everything on one computer, right? So I'm looking for kind of low impact games. I don't always get to play those. Like Chicory isn't certainly high end, but oh, Mr. Bob just subscribed tier 1. That's 46 months. Thank you so much, Mr. Bob. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego Site the Moat into the stream there, into chat. But Chicory was pushing my system between that and having OBS running and recording locally. I think if I wasn't recording locally, it wouldn't have been a problem. But like, I got some warnings just trying to use that because it's not, that game eventually will be optimized for stuff like my systems. But right now, it's not. But yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Bob, for renewing that and welcome, as always, my friend. So yeah, tonight we're working on a model kit from the year 2002. This is a 19-year-old model kit that we're building. We're working on the Zaku II FS, which is old. It's an old kit. It is, but it's got some legacy to it. People are like, "Hey, is something wrong with your color because that doesn't look red?" Well, it's not a red Zaku II. It's a brown Zaku II. This is the color you should be seeing. A nice, deep, rich brown color with green highlights. Which is odd, but totally fun. Power Wash has a bug where switching screens from the game and going back, there's no way to spray until I hit escape to bring up the tablet and close it out and get the spray back. Yes, Lord Crashington. I have a similar issue with that where if I'm going to play it on Wednesday and then I want to like type in chat, I'm going to have to hit escape, go to tablet, click over, do my thing, click back, hit escape again. Even window doesn't seem to work right now for dual monitor displays, which is frustrating, but also, hey, whatever, it's still in early access. We are going to jump to the overhead. I'm going to give myself a little retweet here, and then ship my mess real quick, which is great. But thank you for everybody that decided to come by today. Let's go to the overhead. As I said, 4-year anniversary, and you can see this gold frame is a little different than my intro frame, but it's similar. I just thinned it out a little bit because I didn't need it to be as chunky as it was, so I did a little bit of editing. Yeah, I have to bring up the tablet to avoid that issue. Totally regression. So as I was saying, this kit is 19 years old. Now, here's another thing. Talking about like things that have never happened to me before. Okay, see, this is the thing, right? So this shot the camera is fine. The other shot, it zoomed in too much in the intro. I'm gonna have to work on that. Not now. Um, but we'll adjust that and it'll be fine. Wonder why that is. I might have to just redo it, but whatever. That is a problem for tomorrow. Um, so this kit is 19 years old, and I don't know if it was defective when it was produced, or if sometime in the intervening years, someone opened it and took this out. But we don't have any stickers. Now, if you look at this here, you can see the red highlight stickers, the red eye, which is very, like in a any Zaku's going to have that red eye, right? Um, but also the accent stickers, the red accent stickers, which are interesting on the dark green. I don't know if they go particularly great, but they are striking, so I do enjoy that. Well, we're not going to see those because I don't have any stickers for this kit. And I don't think that's ever happened to me. I can't remember. I've had boxes that have been damaged in shipping, certainly, especially in the last year and change. We had a lot of that, unfortunately. It's a real shame. And I've also had some issues with kits where maybe there's been some jiggling of pieces inside and they've come off of the sprues, which is frustrating as well. There, we'll go like that. Okay. Which is also frustrating. But overall, it's mostly just kind of weird that it doesn't have the stickers. Also, a thing that makes this kit unique that is on purpose. Um, we built all of the weapons first. I don't think I've ever done that. But now, most of the time, if you're building a model kit in the modern era, if you're working on a Bandai kit, you are starting with the head or the chest. Maybe occasionally some older kits, you're going to start with the arms and the legs, but I don't know. Oops. All right, let me take care of this here. I got to handle this here, and we're going to go ahead and ban this person. Great, they're banned. That's cool. I don't think it's happened to me anyway that you start with the weapons. That's very unusual. I don't think I've ever done that for a kit. So we built all the weapons. You can see here uh, we've got all the different various weapons here. So we got taking care of that, and then we started on the feet and then the legs, and then we did the arms, which we're almost done with. Good evening, Dirty. Welcome. Happy to have you here. So we're almost done with the arms. Um, and then we're going to work on and this is also kind of interesting when we get into it. We'll talk about it. The solid chest and waist. Dirty wants me to ring the bell using the channel points. I will ring the bell in just a moment. Here's the bell. Thank you very much for using your channel points. I haven't replaced the gong channel points thing, and I do need to do that at some point. Lord Crashton also wants me to hit the bell. I do need to give you another option, and I got to think of something. I don't know what that is yet. But there you go. Um, I do need to think of something else, and I will, but I just haven't done it. So anyway, yeah, the chest and torso are all one piece. Even if there's going to be no movement at the waist, which is interesting. I think that's an odd choice, but this is a high grade, and so it is what it is. But let's put the legs aside. Let's put the arms aside. I've got to finish one of the arms. We'll put the weapons aside. I need something big because I'm up to 21,000 points, but no one wants to ring the bell. No, beef 21 times in a row. No, Dirty, I would appreciate if you did not use all of them. So yeah, on just consistent bell ringing, that would be great. At a certain point, I would just go like, no. That's the other thing, right? I can just be like, no, thank you, but no, thank you. But I don't want to be that person. I don't want to do that. All right, so we got our polycaps here. We need polycap N. So yeah, 4 years. Did I think I would still be doing this when I started in 2017? Yes. In 2017, when this project began, it was an hour a week every Thursday, and I didn't know what time I was going to be doing it. The original premise for Build With Baer Workshop was going to be, if I dump all points, do you think you can get Funimation to fix their internal server error that I keep getting? Dirty, I do not, I cannot help you with that. I wish I could. I am sorry you're getting internal error. The only thing I can recommend is changing your browser? Question mark. But that's not a good solution to any problem. So I do feel for you. So when I envisioned doing this show, it was it was going to be me building model kits, and it was going to be me building Lego. But I had in my mind that it was going to be a little bit more like a talk show format. That I was going to have guests, and maybe those guests were going to work on their own projects, and we would chat back and forth. Or maybe those guests were just going to hang out and ask me questions about model kit building, or we talk about what's going on with them, and they could promote things and all of that. And the very second Build With Baer Workshop does have a guest. Because I was recording it at the offices of the Upright Citizens Brigade, where I was an employee at the time, um, I asked my friend John, "Hey, do you want to come in?" And I did like an hour and a half stream. He came in like half an hour into it, and we hung out. John Burchard, and he promoted the podcast he was doing, and it was nice to have him and to be able to converse with him. And I thought I was going to do that not every stream, but often. Like that was kind of a pitch that I was giving. Um, because eventually I thought, well, maybe I'll do it like as a stage show and record it, or I'll stream it live as I do it, and I'll find a venue and all that. I quickly realized I wanted to be a little bit more like a traditional streamer. Now, I could have started doing people watching via Discord, or people like joining a Zoom call, or whatever, a Skype call, Google Hangouts, and having guests that way. And I will probably do that in the future. Um, and then I did a live show where Aaron Trites came on because we were in San Diego. I was in San Diego for San Diego Comic Con, and Aaron lives in San Diego. And so Aaron came by and was a guest on the thing, and I had like a thing for him to build. So I've tested that. Of course, there was also a Build with Baer that I did as a PAX panel as kind of a proof of concept that I realized I like, but I didn't love. That was a Lego thing. It was weird because I had a lot of kids come, and that's awesome. If kids want to watch what I do, that's great. But this is not a show. This is a show that maybe kids will like because they'll like me talking about the anime stuff or the model kits or whatever. Um, but I'm not, my primary audience isn't kids. So doing a panel where like a bunch of kids came, and I was like, oh no, this is weird. This is not what I signed up for. I was like, oh duh, it's a Lego panel. Of course they're here. Kids should mute and watch the action. I mean, look, here's the other thing. Like I know that this there will be times where people are watching this and their kids are around, and like any other entertainment, it's like I don't want to censor myself about the topics we discuss or anything like that. And I haven't had to do that, and I don't plan to do that in the future. So that's why I always try to make sure my stuff is, for PAX is 13 plus, and for this is just like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to censor myself. It's up to you if you decide to watch or not, and that's the case for everybody, including people that have children in the house or children themselves. If you want to hang out while I build model kits and talk about stuff, feel free. But like later, if we happen to talk about, I don't know if we're going to talk about X Defiant, a game I can't remember the name of because it's terrible. X Defiant sounds like the name of a website for your interesting fan art. It doesn't sound like the name of a 6-on-6 Overwatch, like heavily influenced by the creative director's time at Call of Duty. Like that doesn't sound like that. It sounds wicked. X Defiance is I mean it's a choice. It's a choice for a name. But yeah. If we're gonna talk about that, I'm also gonna be like, and it's at Ubisoft, so who knows what kind of cool people are working on it? Who knows? Unfortunately, Who the fuck knows? So yeah, we want to talk about those things if we talk about them. That is the thing that has been nice about this. That is another thing I will say since day one about these streams. Working on this stuff was, oh, okay. Um, this is a nice way for me to continue to build model kits, which I had. Oops, wrong. I took the wrong pieces out here. I had missed building model kits very, very much. I had not done it in a while. Basically, as soon as I moved to New York, I stopped buying model kits because I didn't have the space for them, and I didn't have the time for the hobby, and I missed it. So carving out an hour and a half a week, and which then became an hour and a half a week, and then it became 2 2-hour streams a week, and then it became 3 2-hour streams a week, allows me to continue the hobby that I gave up because of time constraints, which is fantastic. Very thrilling for me to have that opportunity to be able to build model kits. And then, of course, the nice thing is this audience began with people who knew me from Giant Bomb stuff. I got an early kind of promotion from some fine folks at there when I first started out. Um, there are people who know me from pack stuff, certainly, which is fantastic, and thank you for being along for the ride. But then there are other people who are just like, yeah, I don't know you from anything. I just looked for Gunpla, and like, you had a bunch of people watch it, and you were building a model kit I was excited to look at, and I'm still here. Or people who are like, yeah, somebody rated you, and I don't know, you talk about anime, and that I don't have people in my life who talk about anime, so here I am. Or other people that are just like, I don't know why I'm here, but I am, which is also great. And thank you very much. The channel has the chillest stream chat I've interacted with pretty much ever, to be honest. It's nice to be able to just talk and not have people try to start fights for literally no reason. Yes, that is a huge component of this, which is your consistent support and being good people. I am never worried about rating because I know that at worst, you're just gonna like not go on the raid. Like that's the thing. Like there are times where we raid and not a lot of people come along for the ride, and that is totally okay and totally fine. But that's the worst of it. At best, you find someone you can watch and hang out with, and then maybe also um, you're gonna like ask interesting questions, or you're going to like figure out like, oh, maybe I'll check this community out, or you'll just be like, okay, that was fine. I didn't need to see that. Uh, and I really do appreciate that. Your consistent support financially, of course, is huge, but also, just being cool, chill, folks. I'm never worried about it. I'm never worried about the channel. Like, do we occasionally get some people that come in that really need a person to talk to them? Yes. And I like that we have that, right? Because those folks don't stick around for that long, right? Because there was like, I remember he still follows me on Twitter. Christian still follows me on Twitter. He would come in. He is a South American person who would come in and talk to me about anime. Came in the second hour because it was mostly considered interested in talking about anime. We watched a lot of the same stuff. Would try to get me to watch some things that I didn't want to watch. Would ask questions. Moved on. Not interested in the model kits, just interested in talking to somebody about anime. Nice to have. There have been a few people that have come in that really need to take over the chat. And they don't stick around for that long because they find other people to come and talk to, or they take a break from being on Twitter or from being on Twitch or whatever they do. And that's fine. And I've always been okay with that because I understand that those people need someone to talk to. And I am fine doing that, providing some small help for some people out there that just like really need to like say a thing and be nervous about a thing or whatever. And there are plenty of y'all that are just like, I don't know, I like model kits. I like talking about model kits. I like seeing what's going on. I like this community of people that are pretty chill and pretty nice, um, and respectful. Because we don't agree on everything, right? You know, like I understand that when I talk about wrestling, a lot of y'all are just like, okay, and a couple of you are like, hell yeah, let's get into it. It's like, with Matt Hardy versus Christian, but it was good. But also Matt Hardy versus Christian. Okay, but like yeah, but like it's gonna further some stories probably, right? Like when does Christian turn heel on Jungle Boy? It's coming, right? Uh like so for a bunch of you, it's like that doesn't mean shit. But for some of you, it's like, oh good, I can talk about this. Um and I've always appreciated that wrestling is kind of bad, but I'm also endlessly fascinated by it. Yeah, I mean, Harold's hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold. Um, yeah, here's the thing: wrestling isn't good, but also, um, two people I really like who are wrestlers, and I really like them as wrestlers and as people, won big things at last night at Money in the Bank. The uh, when does Matt Hardy turn on Jungle Boy is a phrase that is hilarious out of context. Yeah. Well, first of all, Lord Christian, I was talking about Christian, who is the face in this scenario. Matt Hardy is already turned heel because he's big money Matt right now. Um, Also, Jungle Boy is Luke Perry's son, and that is just endlessly fascinating for people that did. When people find that out, it is incredible because they're like, "Hey, what's up with this guy?" And we're like, "Well, he's a wrestler. His name is Jungle Boy. He's from the jungle. Um, his father was Luke Perry. Rest in peace. Who and it's also very fun because then you have Big Money Matt is the name of a 60-year-old would come up with for D&D. Indeed, totally. Big Money Matt. Uh, um, Partially developed in response to Matt Hardy getting into The Sopranos many years ago. Envisioning this kind of like money focused character. That's their problem. In what universe is Christian a face and Matt Hardy a heel? So this is Matt Hardy. So this is a recash of a short-lived Impact TNN wrestling, uh, Impact wrestling character. TNA, I should say, not TNA. TNA. So that was probably the third version of Matt, because 2.0 is Matt Hardy breaking away from being a Hardy Boy, and or Team Extreme, and then I believe Matt Big Money was the third incarnation, and then Broken slash Awoken is like the fourth iteration. Um, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Wrestling is a lot. It's the worst, and also sometimes pretty great. Um, Christian is a face. Yeah, Harold, I understand what you're saying. I mean, Christian is a fantastic heel. Christian right now is a face because he's been a wrestler for a long time, and people are just excited to see him. So he comes in as a baby face, but that's the thing, right? While he's currently like a baby face, I'm like, when is he going to turn on Jungle Boy? Because he should. He should turn on Jungle Boy at some point, get into a program with Jungle Boy that eventually Jungle Boy wins, thus furthering Jungle Boy's placement in the card. Because at this age and time, Christian should not be winning against young people that are the future of the business. He should be elevating them by working with them. So you imagine at some point, which should theoretically also be the case for Sting. Sting should be losing way more than he wins, but he isn't because he's Sting, and that's the weirder thing. So it's just like, yeah, it's a lot. A lot of stuff's happening in AEW. Since when are people excited to see Christian? Um, so here's the thing, Harold. At a certain point, if you're around for a really long time, and you don't seem to be getting where you need to get, and you don't seem to be getting a lot, you can win the crowd's favor, even if they didn't like you in the past. Christian took a long time to get to the big dance. Christian took a very long time to get to the championship. It took, unfortunately, Edge's retirement to really thrust Christian for a feel good world championship win. But he was a hard worker for a really long time. And people appreciate that hard work that he put in for a very long time. And eventually, people were just like, hey, why not Christian? What's up? How come it's not Christian in this spot? And then eventually it did work out for him. And now he's an older wrestler who can still go in the ring and still wants to work and has the opportunity to help out younger talent, which is pretty good. He had to be there. Yeah, totally. I remember Christian's gimmick was that he just whined and threw tantrums all the time. Yes. So they did a thing where uh, wrestling is a little too obsessed with legends. Also, very true, Lord Christian. So they did a thing in WCW where he had, or WWE. What am I saying? WCW, WWE, where he had won the big belt. He had won the championship, and then he lost clean to another babyface. He lost to Randy Orton, and he was like, "I want, I want my title back." And then he lost. And then he like, I'm a little fuzzy on all the details. But then he lost like a number one contenders to get the opportunity. And he kept saying, just and this was his heel turn of him being like, just give me one more match, give me one more opportunity. It was a rehashing of a previous storyline that he had been in that worked well. They were kind of rehashing. So he slowly turned heel because he felt like he deserved an opportunity, more opportunities. And in fact, he had deserved more opportunities. Um, and then he came back last year, the Royal Rumble, and he worked with Edge, and it was fucking rad. He had come back the year before, not as a wrestler, but there to like, as Edge had returned, and he had a program with Randy Orton very shortly. But that was mostly like him doing the work to help and enhance another storyline. But he got his big WrestleMania, like the two of them together. It was nice. It was really nice. As somebody who was a big fan of the wrestler, it was just a cool thing. But anyway, he's in AEW right now, and hopefully he will just be there to be an attraction and an enhancement talent, which is what he should be doing, is to help further people along. But like I said, not everybody wants to hear all of this, which is why I don't talk all the time about it. I do want to say, um, Big E has the Money in the Bank. Big E has never been in the main event picture. Um, Big E had, at the very least, Big E has a title shot for one of the two major belts. We don't know which one he's going to go after. You would imagine that he could be in a program with Roman Reigns, although it's very clear that Edge is next in line for Roman Reigns, so that doesn't make as much sense. So he could be showing up to run a program with Bobby Lashley over on Raw, where his other compatriots in the New Day are, which makes a lot of sense. I don't know if that's the story they're going to go for, but that works out pretty well. Kofi just lost to Bobby pretty decisively, which could be to push that. Hearing that Big E was the first black person to win Money in the Bank was a little mind blowing. Yep. Um, yeah. Also, uh, on yesterday, the distinction of the sixth ever time is John Cena's return temporary. Yes, John Cena is there to have a program into SummerSlam, most likely with Roman Reigns and Edge into SummerSlam. It looks like it's probably going to be a triple threat because their SummerSlam is going to be trying to be the next like WrestleMania 2, because we find low crowds and they're trying to rebuild part of the appeal of the network. Politics of WWE are not great and have never been. I totally agree, and it's fair to say that. That's totally fair. You're not wrong at all. Kofi Kingston faced Bobby Lashley, and that became the sixth time in major professional wrestling history that a black man faced a black man for a major championship, or black person, I should say. Actually, black person. If you, it's five if you just go by men. But if you include Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair from WrestleMania, that moves the number over to six. Uh, and it is part of a dozen total, if you include television programs that are not the pay-per-view network exclusives. It is shameful, truly shameful. So the idea of Big E being in a program with Bobby Lashley sounds real good to me. Big E's always either been a mid-card guy, or a tag team guy, Hogan can break out to main title contender. Yeah, Warlord Crashington, that's the thing, right? He's never been a main event guy because he's never had an opportunity to fight for the championship. They have a slow build with him when they broke him away from the New Day by changing brands. Um, that they've had the opportunity now to take kind of a slow work on it if they want to kind of build him up. He was the IC champion for a while, which was very good for him to have that title and kind of run in the upper mid card. Now he has an opportunity to have a main event, to have a big match, to cash in. Um, it would be awful if he just lost. I hope he doesn't. I hope he does cash in and win. Um, that's the thing that I would hope. One would hope that possibly that's going to be him versus Bobby Lashley, uh, and that would be fantastic. There is, unfortunately, I'm going to say this. Unfortunately, there are rumors that Goldberg is coming back for, and the thing with Goldberg is he almost never loses. So I'm really afraid that Goldberg is coming back to beat Bobby Lashley, and will be champion for a little while, uh, and that sucks. Now, has publicly our man Big E said has Big E said that he wanted his dream match is to fight Goldberg? Yes. Is this the way to do it? I don't think so. I don't think he ever should face Goldberg. Yeah, Goldberg beat the Fiend and was champion for a while and then lost Drew McIntyre, and that sucks. It really does suck. Yeah, I mean, like, so the thing last week, the way they got around, the way I think that I liked how they got around it the last time was they had him fight, that the match took a while to start. So it was just a brawl with Drew, and I liked that. I think that was a good idea. It was a good use for him. Yeah. Um, oh, I did see the promo he cut online after being viewed as the tag team guy. Yeah. So Big E's been cutting some good promos talking about the work and talking about his opportunity. Why does he want to fight Goldberg? Just to say he faced him. So Lord Crashington. Oh, thank you for the follow, Thex. Um, uh, he's a Goldberg guy. He's a WCW Goldberg guy. Big E did not see himself as becoming a professional wrestler. He was a football player that sees the opportunity. But when he did watch wrestling, he watched WCW, and he liked Goldberg because he was a former football player who pushed people around and worked a strong style, a strong man, lift people up, power move, not much in between style. So that was always the match he wanted. That was the person he wanted to fight against. Was he wanted to work uh, with Goldberg, um, and partially it's also because it's a funny thing to want to. It is a funny person to list as like, who do you want to face? And he's like Goldberg. Like people don't list Goldberg is not the top of wrestlers. Like, oh, I've always wanted to, like, the classics, right? Like, oh, I would love to get in the ring just once with like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in his day, or I want to work with Austin before the knee surgeries, or like, oh well, I mean, like, oh, if Bret Hart has one more match in him, I wanted that to be me, or I want to work with Shawn. I want to do a program with Shawn Michaels. He's got one more program in him. You don't hear people go, I mean, for me, I want to work with Gold. I want to wrestle Goldberg. Like you don't hear that, so it is kind of a funny thing for him to be saying. Um, he might not think it's funny, but it is, kind of a funny thing to be like, that's who I want to wrestle. It was a bit of a joke from the podcast. Big meaty men slapping meat and all. Yeah, last week it certainly was impartial in humor on the New Day podcast, but also it is a thing that he has said before and has said since that is his dream match. He joked about work rate, but yeah, Goldberg was a big thing. Totally. I remember the Big E promo from last year where he talked about building a shopping center in Sami Zayn's butt. All-time great promo. Yes, he was going to build housing. He was doing work on Sami Zayn's butt. He was going to become a landlord and a good landlord, and and put up some property on Sammy's butt. It was very good, and that was also Uh, very fun because it let us know as an audience, wrestling fans, that just because he was doing a solo run didn't mean that he was going to be doing a serious run. Because that's the thing a lot of people have said to Big E Langston, Big E, or they've said about him over the years was, well, you got to get serious. You got to drop the comedy and get serious. And that response has always been, I can get serious and still be funny. I don't have to be an angry, like, my character doesn't have to be, I'm angry. Like, my character can also be that I'm funny, but I get serious when I need to get serious. Like, which is true. And that was a nice way to being like, look, I'm gonna get the IC title. It's gonna be a singles run. We're gonna see what happens. But like, I'm also not gonna drop the fact that I am a fun dude that dances around and wiggles my hips. Uh, like, I'm still gonna do that, which I think was important to him. Because also, if he moves too far away from it, it doesn't fit with the moments of the New Day being together again. It just doesn't work. Also, when you take all the humor away from a character, you find, oh wait, I don't like this character as much. I generally don't like them when they get like pure serious. I do like a little bit of levity in my characters. So that's me anyway. I don't know about you. He wants to wrestle Shingo. Yes, that would also be great. Um, I'm just happy for him. I don't think anyone would like him to completely change to become WWE champion. Yeah, I think it's outside forces, Lord Crashington, that have been telling him, since day one, be like with the Big E, the first time Intercontinental Champion Big E, that was the muscle for Dolph Ziggler, didn't crack a smile, didn't laugh at anything. Even if Dolph was telling a joke, he was super serious and he did not have a character other than, I am strong, I have some power moves, I'm wearing a singlet. Um, so once we got to see more of Big E and who he is, I think it really resonated with people. But I'm sure there are some people that are like, "Ah, I like that Big E." I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I think you can just chill and be cool, and it's all right. Um, but yeah, I'm very happy for him. Also, want to say, Nikki Cross, Nikki Ash. Um, Uh, I do not enjoy this current gimmick for Nikki. I would like to see uh, Nikki be a heel, be a psychologically damaged, um, uh, don't know quite what she's going to do heel. Um, I do not enjoy this. Now, from what I understand, apparently she pitched this gimmick, this almost a superhero, the Nikki Ash character. She pitched this gimmick, um, and believes in it. But to me, it feels like a desperation gimmick of, well, we know that, um, like, I know that he being this man always wants superheroes, wants something to appeal to kids, to get the kids in, right? We've heard this time and time again, loves superheroes, wants to hear pitches about that stuff. So it felt like Nikki Cross just being like, hey, I'm trying to, like, it's me trying to become a superhero, and like, I'm a superhero in training. Like, that's what it feels like to me, which I don't particularly love. But she's got the briefcase, which is odd. Um, uh, of the people in the thing, I honestly thought they were going to give it to Selena Vega because she's back, and that would be a great push for her. And also, having two faces have it is kind of odd, but they went with that. Nikki's going to be unpredictable. Money in the Bank winner, running around. I knew, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with superhero Nikki running around trying to do it. I don't like the gimmick, but I also like seeing her on TV. And if it leads to Nikki having a title, that's fantastic. I don't see her pinning Charlotte Flair, unfortunately. Um, I don't think Charlotte is going to lose to a superhero in training gimmick. Just don't see that happening, which is a shame. Probably should. Um, But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Good old shit. I need to go lie down. Have a good stream. You have a great night. Thank you, or day actually, or morning, whatever it is for you, Ash. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Good old shit. Yes, the superhero in training. Rosie, rest in peace. Um, a terrible gimmick. Mighty Molly was a good bit though. That was a good bit of business. Good old Mighty Molly. And to be fair, uh, Hurricane was a good gag. Taking a real life thing and blowing it out. Someone seeing dollar signs and taking a risk on the thing, getting over real good with the crowd. Uh, but back then, oh boy, you know, talk about a character coming out of nowhere. So I'm going to explain this Attitude Era, end the Attitude Era gimmick that I think is a fun thing to talk about. Um, Shane Helms was a wrestler in WCW. Southern boy, younger than the Hardys, but worked with the Hardys. Grew up kind of as like a Hardy disciple. Love those guys. They love him. Um, he came in to work, and they weren't sure what to do with him. They didn't have anything for him. Uh, but they had him do a thing where he came in when Austin was working with the WCW folks. Austin makes fun of him of his tattoo. Former 3 Count member, indeed. Luke Crashity was a member of 3 Count, a boy band that they danced and presumably, wrote the song that they were performing, but probably didn't. Um, so he comes in and he's got a Green Lantern tattoo. He's got a Green Lantern tattoo. He's got the Green Lantern symbol on his arm. He's a comic book guy. He's a comic book artist now, as among other things, or he was at the time. Had a comic book, um, and so that's nerd shit. Now, keep in mind that Jerry King Lawler is also a comic book artist and loves comic books, but you can't make fun of the King for that. But you can make fun of Hurricane Helms, or soon to be Hurricane. So they make fun of him that and like, oh, well, you superhero, you superhero, blah blah. And somebody just decides, hey, that could make some money. Let's have him do a comedy bit where Shane Helms is his Clark Kent, and then he becomes the Hurricane, and he's got like a costume that's very Green Lantern, but has a cape. So it's not super, but it's green. He's the Hurricane, or he's Hurricane Helms. He comes in and he tries to like choke slam people, but he's a small guy, so it doesn't work. And and then like someone will throw him out of the ring, and we'll say he's flying, and get a big laugh, and we'll just do that. And then the audience was like, hell yeah, we want Hurricane Helms to win. This dude, we recognize this is a good wrestler with a weird gimmick. Many of us like comic books, and it's cool to see a comic book character come to life. And he's fun, and he's fucking giving it his all. So hell yeah. And so they were like, well, I guess he's gonna start winning. And well, we're mad at a guy, Rosie, he's from the Naui family. He's great, but we're mad at him for something. I can't remember what it was, but they're mad at him backstage. So we're gonna have him be the sidekick, and we're gonna call him the superhero in training, which stands for shit. Shit, superhero in training. And then we'll have like Molly Holly's gonna be Mighty Molly. I don't know why. The Hurricane is one of my favorites of the era. Yeah, it's a great gimmick because it's very silly, like him imagining himself as a superhero, and then he wears like a suit and he's like mild mannered Shane Helms or Gregory Helms. I think did they go with Gregory or did they do Shane? I can't remember because he's Gregory Shane Helms. Um, but I can't remember. They gave him a secret identity, and he's very silly, and everybody knew who he was, but he entertained people and they liked it. And when he won, it felt good. And it is also a gimmick from that era where outside of the shit thing, uh, it's like it's a thing you could talk about. Like I can talk to you about this gimmick as like a fun, silly gimmick of the era that also is like doesn't involve someone pretending to be. He was Gregory in WWE. That's right. There can only be one Shane. That's right. He was Gregory Helms because he was Shane Helms, so they called him Gregory. Yes, because you can't call him Shane. You're totally right, Harold. That's what it was. Um, but yeah, like there's some feel good gimmicks over the years, but a lot of them are like for the time and of the time. Where this one like, and that's the thing, Nikki's not supposed to right now anyway. Nikki Cross's superhero gimmick is not supposed to be a rib or a punishment. It's just supposed to be she's a superhero now, and I don't know why that works, or how that works, or why they're doing it, but they are, and I don't get it, and I just need a little more help. I need a little bit more help to get it because because I like Nikki a lot, and I want to like this gimmick because I want to be happy for her because I am happy that she got the Money in the Bank contract because it means some stage time for her. Also, she's worked really hard in the lockdown era of just being incredibly entertaining and incredibly likable and approachable uh, character, uh, and just deserves a good win. So I'm hoping that she gets a good win, but I don't know. Like I said, this gimmick just doesn't do anything for me right now. So we're working on the head of this kit. We will take a pause to the cause in a moment or two, a couple minutes from now. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel, go through all of that. But I do want to just try to get this here. As you can see, we built the torso here, and it's just one unit. It's just one thing, which is weird. Very strange. Oops. All right, this doesn't want to line up right. I'm trying to get these on correctly. Not doing what I want to do. I wonder if I'm doing. Let's see. Okay. Sorry. Trying to see about getting this on correctly, lining these up right, doing this the way it's supposed to go. How does these go? So go this way? I think that's right. Okay. I think we're getting it. Anyway, wrestling. It's weird. Anything else I wanted to say before your anniversary? The X Defiant looks whatever. Oh, Pokemon Unite is a Pokemon MOBA, and I'm not gonna play that, but that does seem neat. I'm happy for my friends who are big MOBA fans, my MOBA pals. You're in a you're in a Pokemon MOBA. I'll certainly watch some people I know stream that. Kind of the most I can give it. I'll be hanging out in their chats while they uh, play that MOBA and try to figure it out. If that's something they want to do. It does feel weird in this year of 2021 to put out a new MOBA. But if anybody can make some money out of a dying archetype, it is Nintendo. So we'll see. And they did feature heavily in that trailer my boy Snorlax. So, that's nice. I got to see Snorlax in a thing. That makes me happy. At least it's a brand that already has hundreds of characters for a MOBA. Totally. Yeah, you got all those Pokemon, right? And variants, and you can just have them evolve. Like it's a thing in there that they evolve, and I'm like, oh, that's very smart. Having them evolve is a very smart choice. Yeah, I could see that being a thing that people can get real into. They're not doing this right. How? Oh, I'm doing this wrong, just so you know, folks. There was some slots where I was supposed to be putting this, and I was forcing it into a different thing, and doing it very wrong, which is very funny because I was just like, yeah, that's. I was trying to force them into a spot they did not belong. These pipes here, uh, and that just worked out really well. It just fit together very easily, and just worked just fine. I just got to make sure the back ones are held down as I put the head together, and there we go. As you can see, since we don't have the sticker, nothing there, which is weird. Um, But yeah, I didn't think we were gonna finish this. We are gonna finish this, which is weird. So we'll do some panel lining. We're gonna panel line some of the hosing here and the head here. But yeah, we're basically done with this kit, and then all we have to let's do is put on like yeah, put it together, and then take some photos of it, and then we'll work on the thing. I have a video coming out tomorrow about it, but we'll build it today. My next kit came from my Amazon wish list, and it's the HARO, this HARO here, the Sengoku uh, Sonsuden Sengoku HARO. It's HARO from what do you call it? The SD Gundam world. It's a HARO that has a cool dragon on it. That's fun. We're gonna build that next, which is a neat, weird thing I get to say. Uh, it's a simple kit because it's old and that's designed to be simple. Yes, Lord Crash, I do believe that this is just like a basic kit. It's like there's no like movement here. It's got detailing of like it's a place to put the weapon on the back. Like it's attempting to be show accurate in many places that I think is great. But yeah, it's also a basic, probably somewhat inexpensive kit at the time. It is a 19-year-old model kit, so you know, still pretty cool. Sorry, let me look at the thing real quick here. Uh, I'm gonna just check my messages real quick here. For some reason, I got, okay, oh, that's nice. Check that, and then real quick, just check my phone here. That's it, sorry. Oh, okay. Nothing important. All right. We're going to take a pause for the cause. If you're new to the stream and you don't know what a pause for the cause is, I'm going to tell you ways you can support the channel if you'd like. I could not have done uh, all of this without your support or many gracious support over the years. People that were here in the beginning, people that have been here since the beginning, people that joined in this year, this month came in to watch the streams, to hang out. I appreciate it so much. I could not have gotten to 4 years without your help, and I do genuinely really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sticking with me, even if you've only been here for a little while, or if you are one of the people that you got in early, got on the winning team early. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. All of this is going to be optional. None of this is stuff that you have to do, certainly. But if you would like to, you're more than welcome. If you're currently a subscriber, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the mode in the chat. Let the people know you're a subscriber. It's a great way to support here. $5 a month or your Prime Gaming token. Bobby Dice Rollers here, throwing the emotes in. Appreciate that very much. If you're a tier 2 subscriber, you do get the Scythe emote, which is me as a Death Scythe, because I love the Death Scythe. But yeah, being a subscriber is an easy way to support what I do monetarily. $5 a month, or like I said, using Prime Gaming token, which is a great way to support me here. And you get some emotes. You don't see ads before the stream starts. When you join, Akito's here. Welcome. You could gift a sub. Aristophan is the top of our gift sub leaderboard. We also have bits and coins. Always appreciated. There's room there. You're under no obligation to do that, but it's awesome to help somebody in the community. You can be anonymous with your gifts if you'd like, or hit the random button or gift somebody in particular. I very much appreciate it. We'll get through this quick, get back to building. I have a Patreon. Hey, I just did $150 on my Patreon, which is great. I used to be at that level and then it dropped down and now it's back. And it dropped down and now it's back. So I really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that has donated or given on Patreon over the years. I really do appreciate that. There are different tiers. If $5 a month is too much, there's a $1 and $3 there, and also there's a more expensive tier, the $10 tier, where you get to vote on stuff that I do, which is fun. So hopefully you'll check that out over on patreon.com/PatBear. I have a YouTube. If you're watching this later on YouTube, all of the links I'm talking about are in the show description. If you're watching this later on the VOD, you can find that in the chat. YouTube.com/PatBear. You can subscribe for free for all the videos I make. I put a video up every Wednesday. I put up a video every other Monday. And then there's some bonus stuff that floats in now and again. Like I said, there's going to be a video, a mailbag video that comes out tomorrow. But you can also join. You can be a member. I have memberships on my YouTube. $2 a month. You get a video one day early. So tomorrow you're going to get my Wednesday video. I do that, and that's the least I can do to say thanks to folks. So that's an option if you'd rather do that. Direct donations is another way to support what I do. Everything I make through direct donations, through Twitch, through YouTube money, through Patreon, all goes to buying model kits and equipment. It all goes back into the business of doing this because I'm constantly looking at kits. I always want to have a backlog ready. I have right now a thing I'm working on next. I have a Lego set. I have 2 high grades and I have a master grade. So that's my backlog. And like I have other things coming because I've bought stuff. I have something coming this month. Let's see. I have I have the Calamity, the Full Mechanics Calamity coming this month. Next month I have 2 kits coming. October I have 2 kits coming, and then November I have a kit coming. So I do have stuff coming for the rest of the year. Some pre-ordered things, but I do have to constantly buy more model kits to build. Get to now. As I said, the next thing I'm going to be building came from my Amazon wish list, actually from somebody anonymously. But if you want to take credit for it, you could buy something from my wish list. I'll shoot a video about that kit. It jumps the queue. So I won't work on any of the things I have in my backlog. I will work on the thing you bought from my Amazon wish list. And I recently added some stuff to it. I've got some inexpensive Lego kits, some more expensive high grades, including some old high grades, like I have some a G Gundam kit in there, the Bolt. I have some very old kits, some more modern high grades, a bunch of different stuff. I try to keep the prices like in there. Oh yeah, the Gian Revive is in there if you want a little knightly mobile suit. Also, it's the 144. I would love to build the 1100, but that's very hard to find. But the 144 Maxter Gundam from G Gundam is on my list now. And also the Gundam Raphael, which is expensive but also is just a weird kit. It's just a weird Gundam. I wouldn't mind building the Raphael. It's also a bunch of stuff in there that I would be happy to build. You could buy something. It comes in the mail to me. You can include a message. I will build it on stream, and I will give you a thanks in there, and then it will jump the queue, as I said. We'll get back to building real quick. Let's see. Also, USA Gundam Store. If you go to USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card, then send me a DM, and I'll build it. I'll buy something with that gift card. Send me a DM on Twitter. My DMs are open. If you want to do that, that's an alternative to Amazon. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. That's a free way to support what I do here, so you can get in on that if you'd like to. Over on the old Discord. That is an easy way to support me because you're just hanging out with people. It's a nice little community. I think you'll enjoy it. A couple videos to promote. Hey, I got a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. It's the one I did at PAX this past weekend. PAX East Online is my PAX East Online panel. So check that out. This episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club features Heather Derry and Ian Horner. We're talking about anime for 1 hour and 4 minutes. It's a good episode and a good panel. So check that out. The last ever Bear With Me. I'll have a new one up on Wednesday. But this was me retiring, Bear With Me, and I'm starting a new series called The Best of Build With Baer, which is clips that will all be clips from streams where I have hard embedded subtitles, and I think it's fun. So check that out. The first one of those is coming up on Wednesday. But this was me doing a little bit of a meta thing where I'm reacting to myself discovering that I am ending that series. So it's a little bit of a meta narrative, and I thought that was a fun way to close it out. It was suggested in the chat, and I was happy to provide that bit of business. But we're going to talk about some anime here in a moment, and I'm going to drink a little water, and we're going to wrap up this kit, take some photos, and then start a new one. So let's do that. So we'll go back to this here. Let's assemble this kit, and then I'll take a couple photos of it. Put this here, and that goes there, the arm there. These little pieces here in the shoulder, these kind of like, I don't know, supports like to slide out. So you got to make sure that those are legit, and they go in there. All right, so anime. I only have 2 shows to talk to you about because I don't really have a lot to watch for Mondays right now. I mean, one of these shows is a show that comes out on Saturday, but I have too many Friday and Saturday anime, so I propose, postpone one, and then I have one show that comes out on Mondays. That is always the lightest day, unfortunately. So I do want to try out a few shows. I might postpone. There's a new series debuting on Thursday, and I think I'll postpone that till next Sunday to talk about it. What's that show called? That show is called The Idaten Deities Know Only Peace. That started on Thursday. That's a Mappa show that is starting a little late in the season. So I will probably check that out and give you my full report in the future. But yeah, let's take a photo of this as I get into anime talk, and we're gonna start with Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. This is season 2. If you have not heard of this anime, it is about a young, great little boy, 14-year-old boy named Iruma, who's a great boy. He was sold to a demon, and so it's an isekai. He was summoned to a demon world to be this demon's grandson because he was jealous that that 2 of his close friends have grandchildren. He wants to have a cool grandchild, so now he has a cool grandchild. And what's this here? So now he has a cool grandchild. They're going to an amusement park. It's a bunch of members of his class who are the misfit class. They are going to an amusement park called Walter Park, which is a play on Walt Disney, but it's Walter Park, which is a weird choice but fun. That is the end of this kit, folks. We're wrapping this up. We are going to move on to another kit. This was a fun build. This is an old kit I very much enjoyed. Happy to work on. Oop, got autofocus there. I didn't have any water. I'm going to do that. Hello there. Welcome, Scooty. Scooty the Scoot. Actually, before we get into this, I'm going to have to change stuff around. So let's do that. We're going to keyboard in here because we need to update what I am talking about, which is I am building this gunpla here. We are now building the Sengoku. Well, let's see. How do I spell this? It's very small lettering on the box, which is, fun. Sengoku. Soketsuden HARO. All right, I am now updating the stream. Boom, new update in the stream. It's a HARO kit. Yes, we got a new HARO kit. This is from 2019. Gonna start building that. Yeah, excited to work on that. And then I'm going to tweet out that we're starting a new kit here. So let's do that as I talk about some anime. Anyway, Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun is really fun, and I feel like people are sleeping on the show because it's very cute. Because I don't know why people are sleeping on it, but all right. So let me say, finished Zaku 2. Time for the good end, and then I'm going to include a photo, and we'll see if we can get a few more folks to come join us. Great. All right. Yeah. So we're going to work on this HARO kit. Now, these kits often are no tool required, but we are going to probably, oh, there we go. Here we go. We are probably going to use the tools just because we got them and they're easy. We'll use the black marker for some panel lining. We don't have to do that much with it. Very simple. Couple poly caps for the arms. We can do it as the ball, or we can do it with the arms and legs. I do like the color here of this like very nice red for underneath. Of course, the stand. But yeah, pretty basic. 3 things. 1 giant sticker. we're gonna finish this tonight, right? We're gonna finish this. If we don't finish this tonight, then we will have we will definitely be close to finishing it. But I expect us to finish this very fast because this is not a particularly difficult kit. But yeah, you can use it with just your fingers. But since we have the snippers, why don't we do it with the snippers? Let's get all of this together here. And yeah, I'll just tell you a little bit about Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. They're at an amusement park. We found out in the last episode that this park is run, because it's a demon realm, it's run by magic of a prison. There's a prison in the basement, and they siphon the energy of the prisoners as part of their sentence for whatever crimes they committed, which is fucked up and not great. But that is the plot we are dealing with right now. Anyway, a prison break is going to happen. Now, does the prison break happen in this episode? I'll tell you right now, it does not. But we are setting up for that prison break. Now, are we introducing a bunch of characters that are going to become important? I didn't realize we were. This Haro looks like it fell in with a bad crowd. Yeah, Lashbrook, that's not totally inaccurate. It's got a lot going on. Anyway, I legitimately, as this episode was happening, they were introducing these characters that like are gonna become important, and it didn't occur to me that these characters are gonna be important. I was just like, oh, they're spending a lot of time with these minor characters that are kind of cute and kind of fun. So, all right, how do these go in? They go in like this. Yeah, I've built these before. You'd think I would remember how these work, but you'd be wrong. Don't remember always how these fit together. But yeah, put these in here. Nice and easy. Anyway, I'm beating around the bush. The ladies of the class, Irma's class, go and they're going to try on some fancy dresses, um, which is great because Amari, who is a tall lady that is used to, getting shit done, she goes, it's kind of hard to axe kick in this dress, which is just very fun. That's the first thing she thinks of when she tries on this dress. It's like, oh, it looks good. It's kind of hard for me to kick ass in this, which was just very fun. They meet somebody whose name I can't remember, who is a tailor there, and also another employee at Walter Park, who is my new favorite minor character. His name is Hyu, Hyu, and he is tiny. He's a tiny old man. He's a tiny demon. You can find it on my YouTube. I put a picture of it yesterday up on my Twitter account. He is just a tiny little old man who is a great tailor, and he's just like a tiny gentleman, and he rules. And I want him to like work at the school because he was just like a great little character. That was like, what are they doing? Why are they introducing this great little character? Anyway, the group that is not having fun are the group that are with Caligo Sensei. They are. What is this? Or the other one here? Having issues with. Slide this in, and then it just okay. That was not a problem. I don't know why I was having a problem with that, but I was having a problem with that one. Let's see. So they play some carnival games with some shady dudes, and they tell them about like a secret area, a dangerous part of the park that they shouldn't go to. But they seem real shady, and I was like, that's weird. Why are these shady dudes? Like they're like they look like carnies, but one of them is a skeleton. Then Ronov, the really annoying dude whose dad owns the park, he's showing Iruma some rides and stuff and being competitive. There's a whole thing. Iruma gets separated, but then he meets a pale white demon in a cape, and she's like a soft-spoken, slow-spoken lady, and they have a really nice time together. She helps him out, and they make kind of friends, and it's very cute. It's super cute. But she disappears when Iruma finds his group, which is good. There's a whole thing about Agaris having beautiful eyes, which is weird. That's the guy that sleeps all the time. If you watch the show, there's just a dude that like naps, and we haven't seen what his face looks like because he naps all the time, and he wears like a sleep mask, and he's got beautiful eyes and beautiful hair, and it's a big surprise. And I don't know if that's going to happen anything. So then we find out the gang that is running this prison break and is going to attack the park. Well, turns out the members of that gang are the two carnival workers, the carnival Parker guys. Okay, they seem shady. Uh, the lady who worked at the clothing store and the tiny guy, Hugh, the tiny man. Oh no, he's one of the Six Fingers, one of the evil gang that want to return things to the way they were, not the way things are. Oh no. I was like, oh, that sucks so much. Um, uh, and then also the lady that helped. Oh no, the lady that was helping uh, Irma is also in the gang, and the guy that is somehow, I don't know how long he was working there, undercover, but also the dude that wait, okay, so how does this go? Got down there. This look. I put this on wrong. This is not lining up right, so I may have done this wrong. I'm gonna pull back here, say that I may have connected this incorrectly, and we'll try to fix it. Yes, this is the way to do it. Okay, I put the back of this kit on wrong. So my apologies. Anyway, yeah, the guy that was working for the park, that's a main dude at the park, is evil, and they're gonna summon some magic beasts, some big beasts, to attack people in the park, cause chaos, to then cover up the fact that they're doing this prison break. So maybe we'll find out some stuff next episode. I have to imagine that our classmates and teacher are going to interfere and stop this prison break. You have to imagine. And they should be pretty successful. I don't know how they're going to do against the members of this group, but they'll do pretty well against these monsters because they're strong. So yeah, that's that. The other show I want to talk to you about is an isekai, and you're like, Pat, you watch so many isekais. What's up with this one? Well, so a thing that's really interesting to me anyway about Seirei Gensouki Spirit Chronicles is that Spirit Chronicles, which I'll just call it from now on because it's here. Yeah, these are. So often when a character is reincarnated, the reincarnated person awakens to the memories they had, and they're like, "Oh, weird. I have these memories. Okay, that's my personality now. I am just this dude. Now I'm in a fantasy world." But in this show, Ryu, the guy, or Rio, I should say, the guy who has inherited these memories, is like still in control. He just has memories of a Japanese guy. So he like knows a lot about languages, and he knows a lot about like martial arts because he has these memories, um, which he shouldn't have. But he's still the guy he was at the time. Like he hasn't inherited. He's just inherited some stuff, uh, which is like, he's unlocked these abilities because he's a reincarnation. It's still about this dude. So it is mostly like an overpowered main character anime, that just happens to also be an isekai, and I like that. There was a lot of plot in this episode, so I won't get too much into the plot, except to say, due to some machinations, there's a lot of like drama and stuff. Rio is about to be charged with a crime of putting the one of the princesses in harm's way at the school that he is attending, because he's a commoner there in a scholarship. So it's easier to blame him than to blame the actual person that was involved, who unintentionally almost killed the princess, because that person is like the Duke's son. But that Duke, Rio is like, I'm out of here, which they don't like. So, but it's actually convenient that he is going to flee because the Duke is apparently, next episode, we're going to find out, sending an assassin after Rio, which seems overkill. But yeah, that's basically, we get to see Rio like be very strong, and not a lot of people get to see him like, he has some magic. He doesn't have like regular magic, which is an odd choice, but he does have like spiritual stuff that nobody kind of understands around him, including himself. So he can't like ask people like, "Hey, what's up with this thing? How come I'm good at this thing that nobody else is good at?" Uh, he doesn't know. Maybe he'll find out. Anyway, it was a good episode. I think it's a good show. I'm not describing it particularly well, but it is a good show that I think I recommend. If you're looking for something a little different than your standard isekai, I think it is interesting, mainly because of the idea that Rio is still like, it's not a full takeover, like many other shows that involve reincarnation. It just so happens that he is in he's in control of this with these memories. Now maybe their personalities merge more than we're noticing. Maybe he'll kind of notice that. Maybe Haruto will emerge as a dominant force, but right now is not. I don't know. It's a good show. Um, Also sending assassin after a like 12-year-old who is fleeing and leaving, who would not be, but if he was captured, would not be able to like make this go away anyway, does seem completely and totally overkill. Like an unnecessary step to send an assassin after him. But, you know, they are. So, all right, let's get this dragon on here. It's a dragon. Dragon, you. So, how does this dragon look? Let's look at this photo. Kind of at center of the eyes. If it's a little off, it's fine. A little down from the center there. Dragon. Dragon. It's Dragon. Dragon Ball Z. This is not Dragon Ball Z. All right, let's panel line this thing. But anyway, yeah, that was the anime I kind of want to talk to you about because whatever. um, just a couple shows. I have not watched Sunny Boy. I'm hearing good things about it, but it's a battle royale with magic powers. But I kind of don't give a shit about that. It's just not for me. It's just not a thing that I'm like keen on. But for some people, that sounds like the show they're looking forward to the most. I'm somewhat interested in a couple other shows that haven't come out yet. I mentioned the Deities Only Know Peace, which is like the demons were fucking everything up, and so the humans begged the gods to send some gods down. So some gods came down to rid the demons, but that was like a long time ago. So the current like half gods, half humans haven't fought. They're strong, but they haven't really fought. So now of course somebody's reviving the demons, and so we'll see if this generation of fighters can take them out, or if they even want to. Which I think is a cool premise for an original show, and it is, as I said, is a Mappa joint, and Mappa does good work. Hopefully, they're putting their A team on this and their B team on Remain, which I do not care about, although the premise is wild. Have you heard of Remain? It is the pretty boys doing a sports anime of the season. And it follows the usual story of the main character had something happen to the main character, and now the main character is rebuilding their talent. They had this talent for a skill, and now they're working with like a ragtag group of people. In this case, it's water polo. So it's them doing water polo shit, which is okay, sure. But the reason why he is working with this team is because the dude was in a car crash and lost his memory. He has amnesia, and he lost his memories of how to be good at water polo. So maybe by playing this with this crew, he will remember how good he was, or it'll come back to him. And like, I bet this show isn't really going to explore that, but that's a kind of interesting way to do that premise. Like, often it's like, we lost the big game and I didn't get the scholarship. So now I went to the school and I didn't want to do water polo, but now I'm getting dragged back into water polo and I'm going to rediscover what I loved about it. Like that's usually what these shows are. And this one is just like, nope, amnesia. Um, it's almost like the volleyball, not the volleyball, the that badminton show, which premise was this girl blocked out all memories that she was killerly great at badminton because she hated her mom so much who had forced her into it. Uh, and then as she started playing, she remembered her bloodlust for badminton. I forget the name of it. It wasn't good. I wasn't watching it when it was when I thought it was just a boring old show. But when I found out what it actually was, I was like, oh, I also don't want to play this. Uh, like fully functional memory, except he has no idea how to play water polo. I believe that's the case last work. I believe his memory loss is related to water polo. Like he doesn't remember that he was excellent at it. This is like third hand information because originally that wasn't part of it. It was just like before the series started, they were just being like, yes, that is the name of the show last work. Yeah, they sorry. Um, the ping pong, not ping pong, the badminton show. Uh, no, the so this show Remain. Um, yeah, originally they were just like after an incident, he moves to this town, and then like this goes to the school, and then ends up getting dragged into the water polo. But then later, people were like, yeah, he lost his memory of how to be good at water polo. And he doesn't remember that he was good, or he doesn't remember how to. I don't know if he doesn't remember how to be good, but he doesn't remember how to be good. Like maybe he has his memories like, I remember being good at this. Uh, Now I'm not. Just very strange to me. Okay. Oh, I gotta put our this little guy has some things he's holding, and I don't know how that works, but we'll figure this out. We're gonna do the full build one, and then I'll do the ball version of it, which is obviously similar, but we'll still do the ball version because it's fun to do both versions. Um, anyway, like I said, there's still a few shows I want to check out. There's also I don't I don't know if anyone's picking this up. I think someone will. There's like a similar to Devil is a Part Timer. There is another like Demon Lord gets sent to this Earth, but it's coming in August, and I think it's like a one off. I don't think it's a full series. It might be a full series. But the basic premise is that she's just like, um, yeah, she's like a demon lord, and now she's like got to get retail jobs and like try to survive, and is like dealing with a lot of stress because of that. And I believe it is a comedy. Again, as I said, I don't know the full story of it, but that is from what I remember what the story was, and that seems cute. But it's coming late in the season. I think my next Factory's Enemy Club, I might just go through all of the many many isekai throughout the season because there are um let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 isekai because I myself don't count um, Dragon Maid as an isekai, even though because there are so many. Because well, one, Kobayashi is arguably either the co-lead or the main character. But also, there are so many characters that are just freely moving between dimensions. It doesn't feel like an isekai. It feels like a like romantic comedy series that also features dragons who come from a different dimension. But if you wanted to call it an isekai, I could understand it as a different world, the broad definition of a different world anime. But I think the specifics of it, to me, mean that it's not. But I understand if that's what you want to say. Get that? Let's panel line these little. I don't know what these are. As I said, I don't know this show, so I don't know what these little things are. But we'll panel line this. We'll get as much out of this as we can because we're almost done with it. This is a very easy build. These kits are expensive and easy to do, and so it is all right too. Analyze it and make it look real good. But yeah, what are y'all watching out there? Anybody watching anything good on the internets? Watching any TV stuff? Like I said, I watched. I ended up watching Money in the Bank today. Um, I'm glad I didn't watch it live because there were lots of glitches with good old Peacock. So I'm glad that I did not watch it in the moment and instead just caught the replay where I did not run into issues. But yeah, I watched that. I thought the pre-show tag match was solid. It makes a lot of sense for the Usos to win, so I wasn't mad about that. Because I also don't necessarily think that Rey Mysterio is particularly, or Rey. I think Rey is great, but I don't think that Dominic is really stepping up yet. Dominic has a long way to go. All right, so we're gonna put one hand like that, and we'll do the other hands just with the normal hands. We'll do that'll look fine. Watch the new season of I Think You Should Leave, which is great. Yes, that is in some ways, to me anyway, challenging. That could be a challenging watch just because uh, that kind of humor is a little rough for me. It's not my favorite. I think when it's well done, it is great. But that kind of like the kind of humor that makes my fight or flight kick in, and so my fight or flight is flight. Is not like when I have something like uncomfortable like that, I do want to just be like, get out of there. Um, Whereas I know some people are like, they relish those kind of shows. But for me, like that awkwardness, that like uncomfortability, I'm just like, I could go. I don't have to be here for this. But I do think it's very well done. And so I don't want to take anything away from it. But it is like, not cringe, but it is like uncomfortable in a lot of ways. I do think it's good. Let's see. What else am I watching? Nothing really new, just kind of the same old stuff. Found a Hearthstone streamer that I like, so watching some of his YouTube stuff. He puts out longer YouTube videos, which is kind of cool. Like a lot of his videos are like, I don't know, an hour, whereas most YouTube versions of the streamer stuff is just like a match or two, but he'll put out like full dungeon runs. And I kind of don't give a shit about dungeon runs, but it's kind of neat to see somebody put a lot of effort into that. Um, so I'm watching that. I think there's a skit that is referencing NFTs and making fun of them. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's some good stuff in there, some of it is cringe. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely say that they're talking about the NFT culture, and a lot of ways talking about internet culture and all that. But yeah, it's strong. Let's see. What else have I been consuming uh, online? I'm reading. I'm reading Jobless Reincarnation um, because I just got in my head that I wanted to read more of it. I don't know. I don't have any like grand, you know, thoughts to say. Like I just kind of wanted to read it. The second half of the season's coming in October. Second half of season one or season two. I can't remember what they decided they're going to call it, but there's more of it coming, and I was like, I kind of want to see what that is. I do like the program, so maybe reading it, you can kind of get past the parts that are kind of creepy or whatever. So I've been reading that. It's good. All right, let me take a photo of this here. Also, because I got caught up and I'm done with up until new episodes or new chapters come out. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Uh, I'll be really interesting to see what happens with that show, the anime, because they might catch up with the manga pretty fast, and then they're gonna have to like do the light novel stuff. I don't know what they're gonna do, because that book only comes out monthly. So anyway, here's our Haro. Um, we finished that up. I will do the version that is just the ball version as well, and we'll take a photo of that. But I did want to just take this yeah, this opportunity here. And you can store a bunch of stuff underneath, which I really like with these. We won't really worry about that, but I'm going to take a photo of it. Maybe. Yeah, I'm just going to pop my hand on here. Ooh, Tony wants me to ring the bell. I will, Tony. Welcome, Tony. I'm going to ring the bell right now. 3 bells in one stream. That's not a record, but it is a lot. All right, so I'm going to hold this so I can take a photo of it because I want to show the. There, we'll just do that. Oops. Try not to get the. I gotta do it out here, or I'm getting the ring light in this. It's because it's so shiny. Dang. I'm just. Oh, well, you know what? It's gonna have a halo on it. I don't care. I don't care enough. I want to take this photo. So happy anniversary. Well, thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, we'll take another photo here. We're gonna pop these out. Basically, to do this, you just take the arms off, pull this down, pop this out, pop these off, and then pop this back in. Its legs would come there, and then it's just the ball form. And if you wanted to, you could put a thing in the bottom here. If you want to just put it out like that and have it roll around, but we want it on the stand for now. And then we'll take one of these ticket things and you can put that here. It's not a ticket, but I don't know what it is because I don't know this show. And then there's a little ball just hanging out on there. And I will just hold this up. Like I said, there'll still be a little ring light on it, and that's fine. And that's that. Didn't need any panel lining, but I do think the black here, where the green, where like the smile is on the head there, because theoretically this would pop open like in the show, and there'd be like a monitor and keyboard and stuff, but they don't do that in this one. Um, but I do think that that panel lining is nice because it does kind of make it pop. Um, but I think that that is gonna do it. Yeah, like I said, you can pop these things in there and have them kind of sit in here and hang out there, so you don't have to, so you don't lose them in your display, which is a neat feature. It's nice that these are in here like that. That is cool. So you can just kind of do that and get at them later. But we're not going to worry about that. Thank you to the anonymous person that purchased that. I appreciate it very much. But yeah, so let's go back to the intro here, and we'll just chat for a little bit. We are going to raid because that's how we end every stream is with a raid. So we will raid in a little bit. But right now, I just want to say, hey, thank you. I'm going to move this like this. Yeah, straight on. Thank you very much for being here, for being here on my 4-year anniversary. Thank you to folks that came into the streams this year. If 2021 is the first year you've been watching, if this is July is your first month, watch it. If you watch the VODs and that's how you watch it, thank you very much. If you watch the YouTube archives and you're one of the couple people that check those out, thank you so much for that. If you ever liked anything that happened in this stream, you can clip it. I really would appreciate that because I am going to be doing a few months of that being my Wednesday stream is the best of Build With Baer, where I take clips. I have a bunch of clips stored up, but I'm going to run out of them. So if you find anything in the stream that you like, you can clip that, and be a minute or whatever, or something like that. It's a lot easier for me to be able to pull that out. So I appreciate that. My Wednesday stream, I'm going to be checking back in with Power Wash Simulator because there's more things to wash. There's been 2 locations, or sorry, a location and 2 vehicles got unlocked. So I did those. So we'll go look at that. We'll check out the challenge mode, which I'm probably never gonna play because I don't care about that. But we'll also I now have the most upgraded power washer in the game. So we'll see how that we'll go to an early stage and see how the new equipment makes short work of the skate park, which was daunting at the time. So I think that'll be kind of fun to do. We are going to raid. We are going to go find someone to go and check out. But I did want to just, take a minute to say thank you. I appreciate y'all being here. Come for building, stay for anime talk is a thing that Harold tweeted out, which I appreciate. Thank you, Harold, for that. Very kind. But yeah. As I said at the beginning of this stream, I did imagine at this point I would still be model kit building. I didn't necessarily know that it would be 3 times a week with a bonus stream on Wednesdays doing something else. I don't know if I thought it would be that when I started, that I would be doing 6 hours a week of model kit building plus, another stream of hanging out and playing games or doing a talk show thing. I don't know if I thought of that back in the day when I started this. But I did want to build model kits and I did want to hang out with cool people and chat about stuff. And I get to do that. And I'm very happy about that. I've built kits that I wanted to build in the 90s and never got around to, and then kits that came out for shows that I hadn't watched, and built very cool things like relived parts of my teen years, but also stuff that I hadn't seen. I've built model kits for anime I haven't watched. Um, which is fun, just because they look cool. I've built Lego sets that I thought were just fantastic and cool. I've talked to so many wonderful people, and I truly appreciate it. For the folks that have come in, there are people here who monthly support me, and they don't check out a live stream. They do once in a while, or they're really quiet in chat, or they came in wet. The Asmos that are, like were heavy in the first couple of years, and then found other stuff to be into, or the Zorbs. Uh, that or the people that come in every now and again. It's always nice to see when people come in. The regulars that are here every week, thank you so much, of course, or every stream, to like Lord Crashington and Lashbrook and Aristophan and Harold that are here all the fucking time, and Dirty was here a lot, and and then like people like Iron Souls that like don't ever watch the streams live, or people that like Ash who comes in when they can. But Ash lives on the other side of the planet from me, so like it makes sense. Um, and yeah, and the people that like I don't know come in once in a blue moon. They come in for kits, specific kits or Lego sets, uh, or they don't say anything, and I don't know they're there. Um, People from my other life, like John Robert, who pop in. I appreciate it very much. So thank you for that. As I said, we are going to raid because I don't want to get too misty or emotional about it, but um, doing this means a lot to me. And I've talked about this in the past, and you have heard me say this in the past, that particularly in the year 2019 was a rough year for me, and 2020 it got worse, just as stuff that has happened in my life. But having this to look forward to, having people that I see consistently in the chat, being able to talk about the things I like to talk about, like wrestling and video games and anime, having an outlet for that, just having days where, oh, well, I have this to look forward to, or, well, I got a plan for that stream, or I got to put up a new banner, means a lot to me. It means more than you know. And it has been very helpful for me. I am an open book in many things, including how this has been real good for me to just have this outlet. Anyway, my friend Heather is streaming Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, and we're gonna go raid Lunar Jade, aka Heather. And that sounds awesome. I don't get to see Heather stream that often, so I'm looking forward to this. Also, Heather was in my panel, so it is nice to go do that. But yeah, so thank you to everybody who is here. Again, I didn't want to get overly emotional, but I'm glad you're here. I will be doing this. I mean, I can't tell you how long I'm going to be doing all this shit, but I know that I will continue to be model kit building. I will see you on Wednesday for Power Wash Simulator. And I will see you on Thursday for a new kit. My $10 patrons are going to vote on what I build next, because I got some stuff in my backlog to build. If you want to see something different than what I've been building lately, buy something off my wish list. Thanks for being here. Let's go. I'm going to click the go button here on this raid. Feel free to come along this raid. We're going to go hang out with Heather. She's fantastic. You're going to have a good time in this stream. And also, I haven't seen any of Skyward Sword HD, and I think Heather is a great person to see it with. So thanks so much for being here. I'll see you on the next Build with Baer for the game stream on Wednesday. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And thanks for 4 years and many more.